What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Michigan State basketball heads on the road to play in the Fort Myers Classic, I believe it's called, against East Carolina on Tuesday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on FS2. Now, Michigan State obviously coming off a win over Detroit Mercy on Friday, and then obviously the Champions Classic win over Kentucky last week as well, up to number 11 in the country this week. 5-0 on the year. When you look at East Carolina so far in the year, 2-3 on the year. Wins over Georgia Southern, Elizabeth City, and then losses to Richmond, UNC Wilmington, and Charleston Southern, should I say. So first major game against a high major team for them this year. Later on this year, they will actually play North Carolina, who we will see on Thursday. But yeah, we're going to dive into this game. But first, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We'll have more Michigan State basketball content on the channel, so just make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So diving into the East Carolina Pirates roster this year, Jordan Riley for them leads them about 19 points a game, 6 rebounds as well, almost 3 steals a game as well. Shooting really well from the field, 46% from the guard position as well, 50% from the free throw line though, overall, but 11 for 22 on the year for him from the free throw line. Their center, Giovanni Mjuru. I know I absolutely butchered that name, but he's averaging 17 and 10 on the year, essentially a double-double for him, over 2 blocks a game on the year as well. Tybo Bailey, 11 points a game on the year. He is basically tied for their best three-point shooter. You can throw him in there with Vito Petrovic, both around 28-29%, right in that area. Corey Kalkner adds 8 points for them. They are fairly long and large for East Carolina coming into this game, so something to look at for Michigan State down in the post. Now, as a team, 38 rebounds a game on the year, 11 assists, about 5 steals, 3 blocks. They do turn it over 13 times a game, so Michigan State will want to take advantage of that. As a team, 42%, 69% from the free throw line, something to pay attention to, 21% from the three-point line, which is something that Michigan State struggles with as well, unless you watch the last week of Michigan State basketball, or if you just watch the Champions Classic. Might not seem that way, but Michigan State, yes, has struggled from the three-point line, but they are up to 29% on the year. But as we said, this is a little bit of a taller team, so curious how the points in the paint battle kind of works out there. Overall, for East Carolina, they're about 220th, so a little bit on the other side of middle of the pack in 2-point percentage offense. 3-point percentage, they are near the bottom of the country at 360th. Overall, adjusted efficiency offense for them, 222nd, so middle of the pack defense as well, 189th overall. They are top 20. They are 18th in block percentage, but 3-point rate, 326th, 331st defensive 3-point rate. Assist rate, don't pass it that well, 322nd in the country and 302nd against defensive assist rate allowed. Tempo, closer on the other side of the middle of the pack, 159 overall. And yeah, that's where we sit at with East Carolina. As we said, you look at their roster, they got a couple tall guys on there, 6'10", 3 6'10" guys that are currently, kind of in the rotation for them. Giovanni, and then you look at as well Reed Kaysen and Vito Petrovic, 3 guys that are in the rotation. Now, this is obviously the first game for Michigan State this week. They will also play North Carolina on Thanksgiving, which we'll be back with a separate preview for that one as well. We'll have a recap for this one before that one. But yeah, in this one, kind of curious. Want to see Jackson kind of get back rolling. He is still our leading point scorer, 15 points a game, averaging about 10 rebounds as well. But last time he got in double figures last time out. But it was a little bit of a struggle for a lot of that game. To get it going. He got it going kind of late, got a couple buckets late to kind of make the stat sheet look a little better, but we'll see him get rolling. Carson Cooper, thought he's played pretty solid this year. He's had bad halves, but in a whole, I don't think he's had a bad full game. And he's averaging 10 points as well. I mean, him with the lob threat, with Jeremy leading the country in assists per game, and keeping his turnovers. He's at about 2 turnovers right now a game, which we're okay with because as a team, sitting at about 11.6, always say Michigan State want to stay between 8 and 12. There was like one or two bad turnover games that might have inflated that a little bit, but I thought overall have done a good job in not turning the ball over. But Cohen Carr had a good first half. Last time he had 11 points in the first like 10 minutes or so. Second half just had that emphatic dunk. So like to see him get rolling and see more of, we're still kind of in that developmental stage of the beginning of the season, his kind of new role, kind of getting the ball and making, not necessarily that he's making bad decisions. I mean, he's leading us in turnovers right now, technically 2.2, but I don't think there's been anything egregious. But just kind of getting more comfortable with catching the ball on the wing. We know he's very comfortable in transition or when he has a clear lane to the basket, catching it, finishing at the rim. Yes. But what Michigan State is going to need as we get into, I mean, we've already played two hard games so far this year against high major teams. But as we get into, UNC Thursday, and then as we get into, I think Iowa is going to be tough next Tuesday, but then Duke next Saturday as well. And you get into conference play when you flip the calendar to January as well. Like, Cohen Carr, like teams are going to know that is the scout on Cohen Carr, and he has to, which is why he's added to his game this summer. You can see it getting to the middle of the floor and either playmaking by spraying out, maybe even would like to see kind of even some backside stuff with him where getting the ball on the wing, getting to the center, and even backside stuff to Cohen or not Cohen, to Carson or a Cam Ward or something on the backside as well, finishing at the rim. I think that just continues to take his game to a next level. We've seen flashes of it, but just kind of fine-tuning some of that stuff, I think, will help for Michigan State here. And then, as we said, Jeremy Fears leading the country assists per game, just continuing to be Jeremy. And he has absolutely controlled this season for Michigan State overall. Tempo, pace, everything, kind of as Jeremy has gone, so has Michigan State. And then, as we said, East Carolina, decent rebounding team with some bigger guys there. So excited to see how Cam Ward, kind of responds. He's one of our leading rebounders as well, second on the team behind Jackson Kohler, currently in statistics, but he's also filling up 9 points a game, almost essentially. And then kind of what's the two position looking like? That's going to be the discussion until we get a definitive answer. Which who knows if we'll get a definitive answer this beginning part of the season, or if it won't be till later in conference play, or worst case, we never get an answer. On the two position, Trey Fort, Kurt Tang, they've all had moments. Jordan Scott as well. Everyone's kind of had different moments. Kurt Tang and Trey Fort, they kind of had a moment, kind of the same game, that Kentucky game as well. Jordan Scott early on, that Arkansas game as well, hasn't necessarily fully transpired in the score sheet, but all the other little stuff that Jordan Scott does. But yeah, kind of so what happens there. I'm excited to see them play. Not excited to have to watch this in the middle of the day at 1 o'clock. I mean, I love Feast Week and whatnot, but I like my team to be able to play when I can be home from work, not have to watch this game in the office. I don't like people watching me watch Michigan State basketball. It's a stressful experience. But anyway, we'll head over to Bart Torvik. Bart Torvik has East Carolina as the number 207th team in the country. Overall, we already talked about 222nd offense, 189th defense currently. And then you flip it over to Michigan State. We said they're up to number 11 in the country, number 17 here on Bart Torvik, the number 46th adjusted efficiency offense, and then still standing strong at number 6 adjusted efficiency defense. Going to be a strength, something they're going to lean on all year long. Still first in assist rate as well in the country here for Michigan State. But Bart Torvik has this as a 81-64 Michigan State win. So excited for some basketball. Always happy for it. Thanksgiving week basketball, Feast Week basketball. But excited to see how they come out. Neutral court. First time in a tournament-esque setting for this group. Tom Izzo even talked about on the Smart Media Network after the game on Friday about, we're treating this like an NCAA tournament trip. Got to win the weekend. So excited to see how they come out against East Carolina to get ready for North Carolina on Thursday. That's going to be a big one. As of right now, Michigan State favored by about 1 here on Bart Torvik. We'll see how that changes with the first games being played here on Tuesday. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.